This here is a YouTube video, and this here is the summary and transcription of this YouTube video in a page in Notion. Over the last year, I've spent a lot of time messing with different AI tools, and I've really been focusing on trying to find ways to use them in really cool and also just useful ways. So this way here is essentially if you add a video in YouTube to a playlist, it will then create a transcription of that video, then also give you the summary of that video. This is super helpful if you're a student or if you're just doing this, again, for research purposes and you need a faster way to go through videos. This is a super cool way to do it. So follow along in this tutorial to see how I did it. So here we have our Pipedream workflow. If you've never used Pipedream before, it's a super cool automation tool that's similar to Zapier or Make. However, I personally think it's way better. If you don't have an account, go ahead and use the link down below to sign up. That'll give you a free 14-day trial to access to all their pro features. This here is what it'll look like. All you have to do is hit sign up as soon as you go to the link, and then you'll be able to create an account for Pipedream. Okay, yeah, so this here is our workflow. So a workflow starts off with a trigger. In our case, what we're doing is we're getting the YouTube transcript. We're then taking a summary of the transcript, we're creating a summary, and then we're moving it to a Notion database. So in our case here, if I go ahead and expand all of these, what we're doing is we're taking this trigger, which is using the YouTube Data API. All we're going to do is we're going to pull a playlist that we've selected every 15 minutes. And if there's a new video added to that playlist, this workflow will run. If there's not a video added, this workflow will not run. So what you're going to need is you're going to need to connect your YouTube Data API account. Again, this will just be any account that you have set up to YouTube. And then what you're going to do is you're going to set up a playlist. If you already have a playlist that you want to use, that's awesome. But all you're going to do is you're going to put in the playlist ID, which can simply be found within the URL of your YouTube playlist. After list equals, you're going to copy and paste that section and put it in here. As you can see with this select event here, all it's going to do, we need a test little data set here. So I've selected this video from the playlist that I have included, which is how I manage my time, the Trident calendar system. And then from this video here, this is what this workflow example will be based on. So I've already ran this workflow, but what we're going to do is we're actually going to copy this path to this video ID here because we need this video ID in order to get the transcript of the YouTube video. So our next little section here will actually be running a code block using Python. If you've never coded before, that's okay. If you don't know how to code, that's fine. There will be this template down in the description below where all you'll have to do is essentially just connect your accounts and then you'll be good to run this and you won't have to actually do any of this yourself. So one cool thing here that we have is, again, we have the video ID that I just told you about. If you're creating this on your own, you're going to want to go ahead and paste this in here. And once you do that, again, the cool thing about Pipedream is that it knows exactly where the path is. So it's not like you have to type this in each time. All you can do is copy it and then paste it within your code blocks, which is super cool. So all it's doing is getting the video ID, and then from this YouTube Transcript API, which is a separate API, I'm getting the transcript text, and that's what we're returning. So as you can see here, we have this return value, which is the transcript for the YouTube video that I provided, which is really cool. And as we scroll down here, we then get to the summarize YouTube transcript. For this code block, you will need access to the OpenAI, ChatGPT or Chat API. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create an account. To create an account, all you're going to want to do is go to openai.com and then hit login. All you're going to want to do with this login page here is you're going to want to hit sign up. And then once you sign up, you'll be able to get access to the OpenAI API, especially for the Chat API. So once you have access to the Chat API, you're going to want to create an API key. And I'm going to show you how to do that super quickly. So right now here we're on the usage limits page, but I want to show you the view API keys page. So this is how you get your API key. All you're going to do is press create new secret key. This new secret key is what you'll input into the Pipedream system. And then once that's there, you'll be able to access the API. Another really important thing to mention here is billing. For your usage limits, this is super important. You're going to want to set a hard limit and a soft limit. This hard limit will not allow you to make any more API requests once it gets past this dollar amount. Your soft limit will send you an email once it reaches this amount. So again, these usage limits are super important. So now we're back here at the Pipedream workflow. What we're going to want to do is after you've connected your OpenAI account, you're going to select the chat little action there. Once you've selected the chat action, you're going to want to use this GPT 3.5 Turbo 16K. You want to use 16K because some of these YouTube videos are longer, and then we'll be able to fit the transcript within here because you can only use up to 16K tokens. Another thing here is this user message. All this user message is doing is copying the path value from our Python step up above. So once you copy that, you paste it in here. This will then be sending this to the ChatGPT API. And the next important part is using these system instructions. So these system instructions are telling ChatGPT what to do with that text. So with the GPT 3.5 Turbo 16K model, we're telling it that it's got the transcript of a YouTube video and to summarize it in the way that it finds most appropriate. So again, all we're doing is passing it the transcript, and then we're also passing it instructions of what to do with that transcript. And we're telling it to give us a summary. And this is how we generate our summary, which is super cool. So as you can see here, this is the output of this request, and we can see the content that it gives us, which is a very cool summary of this video, which is awesome because it gives us an overview of the video without having to watch the video. We can get all the key details. And as you can imagine, this is super useful. Now this is a Python step that I've used just to calculate the cost of each message that we're sending it. Again, it will cost roughly, what I found with about a 20-minute video is it'll cost about 2 cents per 20-minute video. And also Ali Abdaal talks pretty fast. So maybe if you have a YouTuber that speaks a little bit slower, then it won't cost quite as much. But that's what I found so far from my testing. So again, all this will do is we'll return the total cost. And as you can see here for this video, it gets us to almost 2 cents for the cost of that. And then in this step here, what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna connect your Notion account. Once you connect your Notion account, you're gonna wanna hit create page from database, and then you're going to input your parent database ID here. We're going to have two different property types, and I'll go ahead and I'll show you my Notion database now. So as you can see, the two column headers here that I have are video title and YouTuber. So what we're going to do here with this video title and YouTuber is within the Pipedream workflow, we're just going to make sure that we fill these in appropriately so we don't have to do any of this manual work here. So as you can see here, I've tested this twice, and we're going to be testing this a third time to show you that it actually does work. So once we have this in here, we have YouTuber, video title, and then within here we have the page content. So we're going to get the transcript, we're going to get the summary of the video, and then again, these are all the prompt, completion, total tokens, and the cost as well. So this will all be included within the page that you create for your Notion database. So here for the YouTuber, what we've selected is just one of the paths up above, and then here we have the paths up above. And again, these here are all just paths from other steps. And as you can see here, if we hit test, we should get another page in our Notion database table. So as you can see here, we now have 3 pages, and I'll show you what a page looks like. So each page has the transcript. As you can see, the transcript is pretty long. And then we have the summary of the YouTube video as well. So we can go through the whole summary here, which is super cool. And then we have this token cost / count. And again, it shows us the cost, the number of tokens used. And that's how we get it to create a page within a Notion database. So again, guys, this is how we can take a YouTube video's transcript, we can get the summary of the transcript, and we can store it somewhere. In this case, we're storing it in a Notion database. But again, you can see the different possibilities here of what you can do with this kind of item. And if you guys don't want to follow along and you don't want to build it, again, there will be a link to the workflow down below. So all you have to do is essentially connect your accounts, and you won't have to create any of these workflows, these little actions yourself. You can just simply open it and then connect your accounts, and you'll be able to deploy this right away and start using it. That'll be all for this YouTube video. And if you thought this video was helpful, subscribe to my channel, as I'll be having more videos like this in the future. Thank you.